Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be reviewing the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pens, which honestly I'm quite excited to give a review to because, well, these are supposedly the #1 selling ball pen, and they are also one of the cheapest name brand pens that you can buy on the market today. So as such, I am just quite excited to find out if these pens are actually worth anything or not, you know what I'm saying? But before I go ahead and start drawing with these pens right here, and before I actually find out whether they're worth anything or not, I gotta go ahead and first off cover the packaging. After I go over the packaging, I'm gonna go ahead and get one of these pens out, go ahead and let you guys know how the pens look, how they feel, what the quality of them is like, what the weight of them is like, and what the ergonomics of them are like, and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, start drawing with one of the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pens, and go ahead and let you guys know whether these pens are actually worth anything or not, you know what I'm saying? And I will admit, these really are the cheapest, some of the cheapest pens on the market today, because what is this? This is like a 10-pack. I bought this 10-pack for like $1.89, which is insanely cheap. And if these are worth anything, $1.89, that really is not bad at all. That really is not bad at all. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? A 10-pack for $1.89, that puts these at about 20 cents a pen. That is such a good price. That is such a good price. As such, I certainly do hope that these are actually pretty good pens. I have used these, of course. Everybody's used one of these pens before, of course, but I don't know how these actually act right out of the box and everything like that, which is honestly why I'm so excited to give these a review, because I don't think I've ever actually bought any of these, and I don't think I've ever actually used one of these right out of the box. The only time I've ever used a BIC Round Stick is when it's been sitting on some like bank shelf or something like that kind of thing, and you've got to like sign a check or something with it, and it's like, this is terrible kind of thing. Like, how many people have touched this pen before me and it's never been washed kind of thing? It's just like, I don't even want to use this pen kind of thing. And it writes terribly just because it's probably like 5 years old or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But I certainly do hope that these work pretty well right out of the box. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying? And I certainly do expect they will. But first off, as said, I got to go ahead and cover the packaging, which I will admit is okay. It's got some interesting little details and everything like that kind of thing, but overall it very much is just kind of packaging to be packaging and everything like that. The overall packaging itself is pretty much just plastic to hold all this and everything like that kind of thing. It very much is disposable packaging, that is for sure. We can see at the top right here, it's all sort of a very mustardy yellow and everything like that kind of thing, and the mustardy yellow goes all the way down and around here, and then we could just see a white line that goes all the way over here and gets a little bit thicker as it goes until it hits this little sort of like a gold emblem and everything like that kind of thing that in black text says #1 selling ball pen with an asterisk right there. I'll be getting to that in a little bit. We could just see there's some black numbers right here. It just says 20123, which I assume is probably the shipping or something like that kind of thing. And we can see that white line continues over all the way right here and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And then we can see below the white line and below the yellow, all the way up here, it goes into clear. So we can actually see the pens themselves, which is cool, I will admit. It is cool. I do like it when you're buying a pen and everything like that kind of thing, when that you can actually see the pen. Wouldn't want to buy a pen that I could not see beforehand, and I could only see it on the packaging. That does not really sound very good to me, I ain't gonna lie. So as such, I definitely am glad I can see these pens right here, that is for sure. But below the white line right here and below some of the clear portion right here and everything like that, we can just see it just says BIC right here, just the normal BIC logo, just the normal BIC logo. We just get one of the BIC little guys right here and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? The BIC pen character. He has like he has a black head. He's got some drip, I ain't gonna lie. He's got a tie on, he's got a little bit of a sweater on, all in yellow, of course. He's got some yellow shorts on, he's got some yellow socks and some yellow shoes. I ain't gonna lie, the BIC guy got drip, you know what I'm saying? He got drip, he got fashion, you know what I'm saying? He got fashion, he got some drip. I ain't gonna lie. What a fashion icon. What a fashion icon, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I'm getting my words all jumbled up, you know what I'm saying? He's got a little bit of a pen behind him and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, surrounding him and the pen, there's just a little bit of a white border going all the way around, and then we can see that white border just connects into the normal BIC logo right here. We can just see the normal BIC logo is just, says, of course, BIC right here, in just black text, surrounded by sort of a mustardy yellow, mustardy yellow background, I definitely have to say, and then surrounded by a black border, and then once again surrounded by a white border, which connects up to the character right here, and that white border goes all the way around everything right here and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Below the BIC logo right here, we can see a black rectangle that's surrounded by that white border. It just says Round Stick in white, with Round Stick being copyrighted, and I forgot to mention there's a copyright symbol right here as well and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But it just says Round Stick in white. And then under that, under this white line right here, we can just see there's a green square right here, and it just says Xtra-Life with a dot in the middle. So of course you know it's fancy. I'm surprised they didn't write Xtra-Life with a Y in the or Xtra-Life like L-Y-F-E. I'm surprised they didn't do that. I'm surprised they didn't do that. That would have honestly been hilarious. It would have been like, okay, hello fellow kids, yes, we have the BIC Xtra-Life kind of thing. That would have been hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. I would have loved seeing that, but it does not say that. It just says Xtra-Life right there, and then it just says, then we just get a white line right here, and then it just says in white right here, it just says writes 90% longer, ... But it doesn't say what it writes 90% longer then. Does it write 90% longer than a Pilot G2? Does it write 90% longer than a Uniball 207? Does it write 90% longer than the first iteration of these pens? It doesn't clarify, and there's no asterisk, so we're not gonna get any clarification from that ever. That's just an advertising point right there, but there's nothing to back it up, which honestly I do not like seeing. At least this right here has a little bit of an asterisk with something to back it up, I will admit, which I'll be getting to in a little bit. That is for sure, and I'm saying, but, and I do apologize, I'm sure you guys can probably hear the music in the background. It's been getting louder and louder over the last couple minutes, you know what I'm saying? But they're having a little bit of an event over on the other side of the park I'm sitting at, recording that and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But under the writes 90% longer, we can see another white line right there, and then it just says writes first time, every time with a comma, and then it just says copyright right there as well. And we can see, this is probably one of my favorite things about this packaging. One of the BIC round sticks is stretching across the packaging, and you can see the BIC round stick wrote that text. That's pretty cool. That's breaking the fourth wall right there. I like seeing it, you know what I'm saying? I like seeing it. That really is some ingenious packaging. The rest of this packaging up until this point really is not really it in my personal opinion. It's certainly not beautiful. It is semi-functional packaging, that is for sure, but it's pretty much just packaging for packaging. This though, I love seeing, you know what I'm saying? I love seeing this, and we can just see it just says BIC, and then it's just the round stick right here and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? With a border of white going all the way around it up until the point where it gets to the white border right here, where then it just goes to the normal pen. I really do like seeing that, and overall that is that is a really cool little detail that I really do like seeing. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. Then on the bottom down here, we can just see there's another white line that starts off thick on this side and then gets thinner over to this side, just like how the white line starts off as thin and then gets thicker, or vice versa, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? We can see they pretty much just done the same thing on the bottom of the packaging right here. In black, we can just see it just says 10 right here, and then there's a black square right there that just in white just says black ink tinta. I don't know, should I say that? I know it's not bad to say that, but I might get canceled if I even try to say anything like that kind of thing. Y'all can read that. Y'all can read that. I'm not saying it. I'm gonna get canceled if I say that. I'm just calling it now. It's black. These are black pens. We can just see that it just says ball pens right there, and then it just says medium pens. So these are ballpoint medium pens. If I had guessed what medium probably means, it doesn't clarify what medium actually means, and I'm pretty sure every BIC round stick is a medium. I ain't gonna lie. It doesn't clarify what medium actually means though. But if I had to guess, these are probably either 0.7 or 1 millimeter pens. I can't see them being any smaller than 0.7 millimeter. I will have to do a little bit of a test when I'm actually drawing with these and everything like that kind of thing to figure out what the actual millimeter size for these pens are. But one cool thing I just noticed though is that this right here actually looks like it's stretching up kind of thing, because it doesn't quite line up with the border right here. It looks like a little bit of a sticky note, which makes sense, I think, because BIC also makes sticky notes, but that's just like stretching up just a little bit right there. That is very interesting, I will admit, you know what I'm saying? That is very interesting. But we can see the area moving on from this and everything like that. I just noticed that, you know what I'm saying? But we can see this little area right here and everything like that kind of thing where all this text is. It's just in a very nice sort of mustardy yellow background and everything. It just has a very nice mustardy yellow background and everything like that kind of thing, just like the BIC logo itself. And then below all of this right here, we can just see there's a very fine white line right here, and then in white it just says Ballpoint on a background of red right here, and then the little tab right here is also in that sort of mustardy yellow. And that's pretty much all there is to the front of the packaging. Is it distinct from a distance? I suppose it's somewhat distinct, but let's be honest here. Nobody cares about this packaging. I am the only person who cares about this packaging, I feel like. Maybe y'all care about the packaging, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but this packaging doesn't need to be distinct. It needs to be semi-recognizable. They need to make sure people see BIC on it and everything like that kind of thing, that is for sure. And they've certainly accomplished that, and they need to make sure it is at least somewhat recognizable, but it doesn't need to be iconic. It doesn't really need to be super recognizable from a distance. Why are people buying these? Because they're cheap. The packaging simply needs to have a bunch of colors on it to make it clear that this is a BIC, and it needs to make it clear that these are indeed the BIC round stick, and it needs to make it clear that this is the cheapest stuff, and it needs to make it clear that this is the #1 best-selling pen and everything like that kind of thing. That's what this packaging does. It's not pretty. It is somewhat functional kind of thing, but in all honesty, it still doesn't really even tell you all the information you need to know. The really only useful information it tells you is that this is, well, the #1 best-selling pen. It's got 10 pens in it, and that is black ink. It doesn't even tell you the millimeter size of the actual pen, which is a little bit annoying, I will admit. I'm like, it tells you it's a medium, but it doesn't clarify what that is kind of thing. I'm like, bruh. But overall, I don't think this is the worst looking packaging. It's below average in my personal opinion. Definitely below average packaging in my personal opinion. It's got one cool little detail right here and everything like that kind of thing, but basically what they're trying to do is just make it clear, this is BIC. You want a BIC round stick? Buy this. It's only $2 kind of thing. It doesn't need to be the best packaging in the world, and I definitely do not think this is. But I am not quite done covering the packaging yet because, well, we have the back of the packaging to cover as well. We could just see the entire background for the back of the packaging is just sort of this, once again, mustardy yellow sort of look and everything like that kind of thing. We can see the BIC guy right here, the BIC logo right here and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Once again, surrounded by a white border going all the way around it. And then we just get a miniature version of the sort of, I would definitely have to say, sticky note book we saw on the front of the packaging. Just a miniature version right here, just says round stick, Xtra-Life, but it doesn't have all this stuff under the Xtra-Life. So it's just a miniature version, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf, but we do get that same interesting look where it sort of kind of feels like, sort of kind of looks like it's peeling up and everything like that kind of thing. And then we could just see on this side, it just says PIC, it just says PIC, it just says BIC with the guy right there, and it just says fight for your right, with 2 stars right here and a white rectangle right there with some lines on the top and some lines on the bottom and everything like that kind of thing. That is very interesting. All of that text does indeed have a drop shadow. The black text has just lines as a drop shadow, and then the yellow text has a black drop shadow, which is pretty cool. And one thing I just noticed is that the actual BIC logo itself looks like it's hand drawn, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can actually see that on camera, but that is pretty interesting. That is for sure. And I'm saying certainly no complaints on my behalf, but I'm just going to go ahead and start off by reading all the black text on this side right here. So it just says that this writes 90% longer on average than a Papermate Inkjoy 100 stick ball pen. Okay, so it does actually clarify what that means. So that does actually clarify. Okay, I did not realize that. I will admit, okay, I respect kind of thing. It also says writes first time every time. It said that on the front of the packaging. Our quality comes in writing, not in lighters apparently. And then we just have a black line right there, and then it just says ofrece un 90 más de duración en promedio que bolígrafo Papermate Inkjoy 100. So I would assume that is oh, I was just reading something real quick and I was just like, wait a minute, because I just got super confused. I was like, wait a minute, does BIC own Inkjoy? No, they don't. So that's basically just saying what it says right here and everything like that, but in Spanish, you know what I'm saying, which definitely does make sense. And then it just says under that Papermate and Inkjoy are trademarks of Newell or an affiliate. Newell has not sponsored or approved, is not sponsored or approved and is not affiliated with this BIC branded product. So they're literally just dissing on Papermate to diss on Papermate, because I will admit, right next to the Papermate pens, or right next to these BIC pens, the BIC round sticks that I bought, right next to it, what was there? The Papermate versions of these. So it definitely does make sense. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying. But nonetheless, I do indeed find it pretty funny. And then it just says, there's a little bit of an asterisk right there. Or I do find it pretty funny, they're literally just dissing on Inkjoy and Papermate and everything like that kind of thing, just simply because it's just like their direct competitor and everything like that kind of thing. I just find it funny that they're just dissing them on this packaging, which I just find so funny. But we can just see the little asterisk right here. We can see the little asterisk right there is now solved with this right here. So there's a little bit of an asterisk right there. It just says the source for this right here, saying that this is the #1 selling ball pen. The source is the NPD Group Inc. Retail Tracking Service US unit sales. So this is only for the US, but it's also only for April 2014 to March 2015. So for a year. So this was the best-selling pen for a year. That's what this means. This was the best-selling pen for 12 months in a row. And don't get me wrong, that is still a very good achievement. But this might not be the best-selling pen right now, which is a little bit whack, I ain't gonna lie. But hey, some complaints on my behalf. I don't really think they should be putting that on the packaging. But if I was going to be selling these pens, I'd do the exact same thing, because honestly, with something this cheap, you need to make it clear, hey, look, we're the best at cheap pens and everything like that kind of thing. And this is probably one of the best ways to do it. So honestly, if I was selling these pens, I would definitely do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Under that though, it just says copyright MMXVI BIC USA Inc. Shelton, Connecticut 06484 GSMP 10 or 101T BOM 484939195. These are made in Mexico. Patent is at www.bicworld.com patents, and then it just says www.bicworld.com. And that's all of the text there is on this side of the packaging. And then we can just see on this side, as said, I already covered this little rectangle right here. We can just see it just says, join BIC's mission to save handwriting. To learn more, visit bicfightforyourright.com. And then it just says under that, there's just a little black line right there. And then it just says, unas e la misión de BIC de salvar la escrita a mano. Para información más visita bicfightforyourright.com. And then it just says BIC performance policy, US and Canada. If you are not satisfied with the performance of this product, please return it to BIC and we will gladly replace it at no cost to you, which is pretty cool. But is anybody going to do that on a $2 pack of pens? More than likely not. That's just on there for niceties and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, we can just see the barcode right here. And that is pretty much all there is to the packaging. I do find it pretty amusing. They're like, join BIC's mission to save handwriting. Well, of course, if they don't save handwriting, then BIC is going to go out of business because there's going to be no more pens. Well, I guess that's not really all that funny. I like my pens, and that's kind of what I'm reviewing right now, so I'm kind of reliant on pens as well, so maybe I will have to join BIC's fight to save handwriting. But nonetheless, what are my overall thoughts on the packaging? I definitely do think it tells you what you need to know kind of thing. It's okay packaging. It's not like the most iconic thing from a distance, in my personal opinion. You can see the BIC logo from a distance, which is really good. So while it might not be iconic or a retro or any look like that kind of thing, you can definitely tell what it is. You can definitely tell what it is from a distance, and honestly, that does matter quite a bit. But the overall design is not pretty. It's functional packaging kind of thing. But even saying that this is functional packaging is not quite right, because it's not really all that functional. It tells you a bunch of stuff, but it does, none of the stuff really matters kind of thing. It's just a lot of advertising points to just convince you to buy this pen over the other pen, which is, hey, exactly what packaging is meant to be for. But I just definitely have to say, this is packaging that is meant to sell it, but I don't really think it's the best packaging in the world. But I am also I also prefer more artistically inclined packaging, and this is most certainly not artistically inclined. This is packaging to sell the pen. It is good packaging at selling the pen, I ain't gonna lie, but it's definitely not my favorite packaging in the world. So as such, I know I said I don't like this packaging, and I don't really like this packaging, but I gotta give it some credit kind of thing. I really do gotta give it some credit. It tells you, it does a good job of trying to convince you to buy this pen. And for that, I do gotta give it some points. And so as such, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this packaging, because it's certainly not the best looking packaging in the world, I think it's just gonna be getting a solid average rating, that is for sure. But without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and get this packaging all opened up. Go ahead and get one of the BIC Round Stic Xtra-Life ballpoint pens all out. And go ahead and let you guys know what the quality of these pens are like, what they feel like, what they're made out of, what the ergonomics of them are like, and what the weight of them is like, which I will admit right off the bat, they are pretty light. But let's just go ahead and get this packaging all opened up real quick, if I can. I'm just gonna try to pop it open at the top, just so, there we go. And there's a little bit of a cardboard sheet in here as well, just to keep it there's a little bit of a cardboard sheet in there, just to make sure it just stays a little bit flat and everything like that, which is nice, you know what I'm saying? That is nice. I'm just gonna be getting one of these out and putting the rest of the pens on the ground. And here we go. This is the BIC Round Stic, and we can tell this is a 20-cent pen right off the bat kind of thing. So, the overall look of this pen is clear gray plastic. Clear gray plastic, and it just has a little BIC guide right there, says BIC right there, says Round Stic right there, and then it just says M right there for medium, and we can see Round Stic just has a line going all the way over to the R, so the O and to the I, which is an interesting look, I will admit. But we can definitely tell, getting one of these other pens out, is it just this pen or is it all of these pens? Because I'm not sure. Yeah, no, it's all of these pens, yeah. So that white, definitely, they used a bit too much paint. They used a bit too much ink. You could definitely tell these are not the highest quality things in the world, that is for sure. It's a 20-cent pen after all. And this is all definitely engraved into the pen, so it is definitely the actual mold for the actual pen itself is indeed printed, or is indeed molded with this lettering in here and everything like that kind of thing, and then they go back over in white ink or in white paint or something like that kind of thing and put the white on here just to make it a little bit more distinct and everything like that kind of thing. We can see on the cap it just says BIC right here. It has the little BIC character right here, and that is a little bit I'm trying to think, engraved, I want to say is the right word, because it's not embossed. Embossed is definitely not the right word. I want to say engraved right here, so we can just see the little BIC character right there, and then it just says BIC going around just like that, you know what I'm saying? And there's really not much to the lid at all, I ain't gonna lie. One thing that is a little bit of a complaint on my behalf is that the lid has a hole in it. What the hell is that about? The lid is not supposed to have a hole in it. How are you gonna keep your pen fresh? Yeah, I'm thinking they might have done that on purpose. On the bottom of the pen, though, we can see there is some text that I'm trying to read. Oh, it just says BIC Mexico. That's what it says. So it says BIC on the top right there, and then it says Mexico on the bottom, just around, so we can tell that this is indeed a BIC round stick that is indeed made in Mexico. I'll definitely have to make sure to check every BIC round stick I use from now on to see whether it's made in Mexico or not. I wonder if they used to make these in the USA. Getting the cap off for the first time, though, we can see that this is a true disposable pen. You cannot take out the cartridge or anything like that kind of thing. This is indeed a true disposable pen. And we could just see on the little, on the part right here, where it's kind of like where your finger is meant to go, we could just see it just says BIC right there, just BIC right there and everything like that. And then you just turn it to the other side, and once again, it just says BIC. And then we could just see on the black portion right here, it also says BIC, you know what I'm saying? And then if you turn it around, it also says BIC once again, you know what I'm saying? How easily does the cap fit on the back? Pretty well, pretty snug design, I ain't gonna lie. I like that quite a bit. And overall, that's pretty much the look of the pen itself. It looks pretty good. The quality of it, it's definitely a 20-cent pen, but I can't really diss the quality because it is a 20-cent pen. In all honesty, if I was getting this sort of rattling and stuff like that kind of thing from a pen I spent $3 on, I would be complaining. But this is a 20-cent pen, so who really cares kind of thing. It's just gray, low quality kind of thing. It works. It'll work. Kind of pushing on the plastic with my fingers. It doesn't really bend or anything like that kind of thing, and trying to bend this, it definitely does bend pretty easily. Like, you can definitely bend this pen pretty easily and everything like that kind of thing. But it's a 20-cent pen, so who really cares in all honesty? Ergonomics-wise, there is literally no grip. There is a little bit of like a divot right here that maybe will make it easier and everything like that, but I can't really say for sure until I actually start writing with it. But yeah, it's not really the best thing to be writing with for a long period of time. I would definitely have to say I definitely wouldn't recommend it. There's not a lot of weight to this pen. In fact, this pen is actually has no weight. No weight at all. When you are trying to use this pen with the cap off, it's just like your hand's just floating kind of thing. This pen is so light. It is honestly, I am totally expecting this to be actually annoying to write with. And I don't like writing with these pens, I ain't gonna lie. And with the cap on, let's go and just see it. It is a little bit better. It is a little bit more weighty at the back of the pen with the cap on and everything like that kind of thing, but it's still not weighted enough. There's not enough weight at the front. There's not enough weight at the back. It's not weighted enough. It's definitely not a great pen to write with, but it's 20 cents, so who cares? But without further ado, I think I've pretty much covered everything I want to cover about the actual pen look itself. I've covered everything I want to cover with the packaging. So now it is actually time for me to go ahead and get my $4 IKEA notebook all opened up. And it is now time for me to go ahead and start drawing a little bit with the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pen and see how it actually is. So, first time drawing with this pen, let's just go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold over this right here so I can actually show y'all and everything like that. So first time drawing with this. Okay, it was a little bit faded at first, but let's just see if it can continue. Can it continue just drawing without ever getting faded and everything like that kind of thing? Let's see. Overall, not bad. I ain't gonna lie, I have no complaints on my behalf right now. This is not bad at all. Okay, it started fading. There we go. Well, we got a decent amount of ink out of it before it started fading, and let's see how easily it comes back pretty quickly and everything like that kind of thing. Not too bad. Pretty good for a 20-cent pen. And the lines overall are decently distinct as well. They're definitely not super grayed out or anything like that kind of thing. I can't remember which one it is, if it's rollerball or ballpoint pens that use actual pigment-based ink, and then there's one that uses like fake pigment or something like that kind of thing. And because of the fake pigment, the colors tend not to be as vibrant, but it's easier to write with and everything like that kind of thing. I can't remember which one it is, but this black is honestly, it's not half bad. It's really not half bad. It's definitely not the most vibrant black in the world, I definitely have to say, but it's really not half bad. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip the page real quick and just go ahead and just try to write the title of this video. So the title of this video, I'm thinking, I don't honestly, I obviously haven't written the title of this video yet, but it's probably going to be BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life. Is there a ballpoint pen? And honestly, it didn't do so bad. It's pretty easy to write with kind of thing. It's very, 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 very smooth. Very, very, very smooth. No complaints on my behalf about that. Honestly, right out of the box, these really are not half bad pens. Like, seriously. Like, I hate to say it. This is actually performing better than the last pen I reviewed, the Uniball 207, which is so much more comfy to hold, so much better ergonomically, so much better weight-wise. It's more expensive though, and this damn 20-cent pen is outperforming it right now. I hate to say it. This 20-cent pen is outperforming the Uniball 207. I am very fucking disappointed right now. I ain't gonna lie. I am very fucking disappointed right now. This 20-cent pen is outperforming it. It's very smooth, very easy to write with. I do want to just see though what the actual millimeter size of these pens are, so I am actually going to get, I have a 0.7 millimeter G2 in my backpack. Now I'm gonna go ahead and write with as well. Just line, and then line. And I definitely have to say, this one is slightly thinner, so this is a 0.7, as we can see, G2. I'm gonna go ahead and just put that back in my backpack. We can see though, the two lines I wrote, the G2 line is on this side and the BIC round stick line is on this side. And I definitely have to say, maybe these are not, maybe it's just because the ink from the G2 is more distinct and everything like that kind of thing, because definitely this ink is not the least distinct ink in the world, but it definitely does fade a little bit more to sort of a very dark gray. I definitely have to say the G2 ink is much, much, much more distinct though, I definitely have to say. And we could just see right here that this pen is also a little bit smaller. Maybe this is more like a 0.5 pen. I definitely have to say 0.5 pen, maybe. It is a little bit smaller, but it does actually look to be about the same size. I think it's just because one's a gel pen and one's a ballpoint pen. So I definitely have to say this is probably a 0.7 millimeter pen if I had to guess. But we can definitely tell though that the G2 has a lot more of a distinct look to it. But in all honesty, for a 20-cent pen, there's nothing I can complain about. That is for sure, you know what I'm saying? As said though, yeah, the G2 ink is definitely a little bit more distinct, but this is not really half bad in all honesty. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of a drawing though with the BIC round stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pen, just to go ahead and just see how it turns out and how it draws for just drawing for a couple minutes and everything like that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my paper on my knee and just go ahead and start drawing just one of my normal characters and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna make it just look a little bit different than normal. And I will admit, one of these, this pen, I will admit right off the bat kind of thing, is very, very, very good at just going over lines over and over and over again. Doing one line with this pen like that kind of thing, it's not really the greatest thing in the world, but when you're going over and over and over and over again, it really does get a very, very nice deep black to it, which I do like. And that's definitely the way you want to use this pen if you're going to be drawing with it, that is for sure, in my personal opinion at least. So I'm just gonna go and draw the mouth, go and just draw a little bit of a chin right there. Let's go ahead and go up and over. Let's go and do a little bit of an ear. Just like that. Let's go and just draw the neck. Let's go and draw the body. Just shoulders, arms. And let's see, and that music is certainly turning up just a little bit, that is for sure. Let's just go ahead and finish off this drawing just like this. There we go. And yeah, okay. So I just got to about this point in the drawing. I literally was just drawing this and it started fading. But that's not half bad. That's not half bad. Let's go ahead and just lift off and give it another go. And yeah, it's all good again. It's all good again. No complaints on my behalf. That is for sure. Just go ahead and finish off the drawing. Just go ahead and add some extra little details and everything like that kind of thing. And I will admit, having drawn these lines, they definitely are a lot more distinct as at first, but then they do definitely start drawing a little bit, and they definitely do get a little bit less distinct, not more distinct, less distinct as the drawing gets a little bit older and everything like that kind of thing. But it's a 20-cent pen. What can you expect? You know what I'm saying? It is, after all, a 20-cent pen, as said. But right off the bat kind of thing, these are really not half bad to draw with. I'm just going to add one extra little detail. There we go. And so that's the completed drawing right there. That is the completed drawing right there. No complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? It only started fading right when I started like getting to the really the start of adding all the extra details and everything like that. So really not half bad. I ain't gonna lie. Really not half bad. Pretty good. pretty good, I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and see, does this pen smear though? I'm gonna go ahead and just flip over to the other page as well and just go ahead and see, does this pen smear? It does smear, no, actually, not really. It doesn't really smear much. I'm just gonna go over just like that kind of thing and just rub it with my finger. I'm getting a little bit of black ink on me, and we can definitely tell it smeared a little bit, but let's just go ahead and just do the same thing and wait 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, I think that was about right. And just try it. And yeah, it definitely does still fade a little bit kind of thing. It's definitely not the highest quality ink in the world. It's certainly got no smear resistance or anything like that kind of thing, that is for sure. But I mean, like, overall, it really doesn't smear all that much. Definitely doesn't smear as bad as some pens I've previously used. So really, overall, the BIC round stick, if you're just looking for the cheapest pen on the market kind of thing, really is not bad. It actually is a pretty solid pen right out of the box, at least. Of course, I can't really speak on how it is over time, per se. I can't really speak on how long these pens actually last. We can see you do definitely get a decent amount of ink on the inside and everything like that kind of thing, but that also looks pretty thin, so who really knows how long this lasts? Who really knows how well it writes when you get to about the halfway point and everything like that kind of thing? Some pens definitely do stop writing as well after the sort of beginning portion of using the pen and everything like that kind of thing, which is very annoying. And this pen might be like that, but it's also only a 20-cent pen. If it starts writing as well as you want kind of thing, fucking throw it away and just get another one out of your pen pack and just keep writing and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Really not a bad pen. If you want a pen, if you lose pens kind of thing, in my personal opinion, this is the best pen. It's not fancy, it's not cool, it does the job, and it does it well. Overall though, what are my final thoughts on the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pen? Well, I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say in this video, so as such, well, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and give these pens a rating. Overall, the packaging is packaging. Does a good job of selling the pen, but in my personal opinion, it's definitely not pretty packaging. I definitely have to say the pen itself has no weight to it. It wasn't terrible to draw with, I will admit, but it is a little bit awkward to hold as well. If you like an ergonomic pen, this is not the pen for you. When I was drawing with it, it was definitely not the greatest thing in the world to hold. I would like it if these pens had a little bit more weight, but it's also a just about 20-cent pen. Not really much I can say about that, in all honesty. And it's not very ergonomic. There's not a lot of weight to it and everything like that. It's not terrible quality, but it's certainly not the greatest quality in the world either, just simply because of this right here. But there are some cool little details on the pen itself. But actually writing with the pen itself and everything like that kind of thing, definitely a little bit interesting to write with, especially if you're used to weighted pens, which are my personal preference. I personally prefer weighted pens, or at least thicker pens that if they don't have any weight to them, there's a lot of stuff to grab onto. This though is very, very, very thin, no weight to it kind of thing. Definitely not very good for my hands, that is for sure. I have above average sized hands, if I had to guess. I don't know though, I don't know though in all honesty, but it is definitely a little bit awkward for me to hold. I definitely do prefer a thicker grip, that is for sure, and these definitely do not provide a thicker grip. But in all honesty, you could, if you're really worried about it kind of thing, you could always put like a pencil grip on here or something like that. This is like the same size as a normal HB pencil. So you could always just put a pencil grip on here, just where it like sits right there and just write like that, or just roll it down or something like that kind of thing. That would totally be an easy solution. But overall, did it fade at all really kind of thing? It faded a little bit, don't get me wrong kind of thing. It faded a little bit. It's definitely not the most vibrant, the most popping black of all time, that is for sure. The G2 definitely was much more vibrant. I'm just going to go ahead. Yep. Even though it's been a couple minutes now, the G2 ink is definitely a lot more vibrant. This is definitely more of a very, very dark gray than a super vibrant black. So if you don't mind that though, and it doesn't matter to you, then it's not a big deal in the world, that is for sure. But you can definitely tell this is not the most vibrant ink in the world, probably made with synthetic pigment if I had to guess, or pretty much all pigment these days is synthetic. I can't remember what the difference is between rollerball and ballpoint right now, but I'll definitely have to look that up after this video so I can actually remember for future videos, and I'm saying the same. But it's definitely one of those things, as said, doesn't have a lot of weight to it. The ink doesn't really fade super easily. It does it better. The ink fades more slowly than the Uniball 207, which honestly was very disappointing, I ain't gonna lie. But that pen was very distinct when it was. It's definitely more distinct than this, that is for sure. But I mean, like, overall, this is not a bad pen. For 20 cents, really not a bad pen, in all honesty. It's a little bit awkward to write with just because it's so light and it's so thin, and the ink really isn't the best. It's more of a very dark gray than an actual black. It doesn't really smear all that much kind of thing, but it does smear a little bit. And it doesn't, the ink doesn't really, if you're drawing with it for long amounts of time, the ink doesn't really go away super fast. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed. This is a 20-cent pen that, in all honesty, I would buy again. Would I much rather use a Pilot G2? Yes, I would much rather use a Pilot G2, but I'd buy this pen again, 100%. And honestly, I'm gonna be keeping one of these pens in my backpack probably. I always keep a G2 in my backpack, but I might just keep one of these in my backpack too. No guarantees on that, of course. I don't want to say that and then not be able to back it up, but I actually probably won't. But I definitely will have one of these on my desk. I will definitely have these on my desk, and some pens that I've used before are just so fucking terrible. And it's just kind of like, I don't even want to use these. And I don't. I end up giving them to other people or something like that kind of thing. My mom, she doesn't really care about pens and everything like that kind of thing. She'll use a pen until it's dead and then throw it away. If I have a pen that I really hate using, I'm like, hey mom, do you have pens right now? Oh, you don't have any pens? Okay, here's some pens I don't like. And she don't care kind of thing. She don't care unless it's a Sharpie S Gel, and then that's her favorite pen. You know what I'm saying? But overall, for a 20-cent pen kind of thing, really not bad. And I'm definitely going to be using these a lot more in the future. And I do not plan on giving these to my mom. My mom has said she doesn't really care about what kind of pen she uses. She'll use any pen. But honestly, I like drawing with this pen. I like drawing with this pen a lot. And honestly, this pen gives you a mildly unique look of sort of a kind of like not super black, yet still you can kind of be like a little bit scribbly and everything like that kind of thing, but it's not super black and overwhelming like it can be with like a G2 or the Uniball 207 or something like that kind of thing. Honestly, giving a very unique look. And honestly, these are really not the best. These are really not the best pens in the world, but they're certainly not the worst pens in the world, and certainly not the worst pens in the world to write with. That is for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and put the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life back in the packaging and go ahead and tell you guys, I've been just rambling. I do apologize, y'all. And I'm gonna go ahead and just tell y'all what the rating I'm thinking for these pens actually is. Well, the price tag is going to be getting a pretty good rating right off the bat kind of thing, or is going to be getting these pens a pretty good rating. The packaging is average, does a good job of selling the pens, but it's not pretty packaging by any means. The pens, no weight to them. They're okay. They're pretty bad ergonomically in my personal opinion. They write pretty well. And the ink doesn't really go away super quickly. It doesn't really smear super bad. And I definitely have to say, overall, they're pretty good pens that are just a little bit, they're a little bit odd to use kind of thing. It's cheap pens. They're made to be as cheap as possible. It makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It makes sense. The rating I'm thinking overall, though, I'm like, they're $2 pens. I can't really give them a bad rating because they are good pens. I ain't gonna lie. They really are good pens. The rating I'm thinking for these pens is probably gonna be a solid, would I buy another pack of these again? Yes, but only if I really wanted some cheap pens. I would much rather buy another pack of G2s, just because I really do like G2s. So I definitely have to say, because of that reason, I think I'm going to be giving these a solid 8 out of 10. If they were even $1 more, they would be getting a 7.5 out of 10. But $10 for 10, or sorry, not $10 for 10, $2 for 10 pens, you really cannot beat it. You cannot buy a cheaper pen on the market today. I'm sure you can, but the pen might be terrible. I'll have to find the cheaper pen. But this really is the cheapest name brand pen you can buy today on the market. On the market of pens, and as such, really, that's why it's getting an 8 out of 10. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, though, that is for sure. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching my review of the BIC Round Stick Xtra-Life ballpoint pens. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this review, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel, all in the description down below. Of course, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So as such, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video right here. I said the BIC Round Sticks got a solid 8 out of 10. And yeah, certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. Without further ado, though, as said, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my Instagram, my book, my P.O. box, my website, and my main channel, all in the description down below. And until the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?